Hey everybody, Taz from Critical Thinking Anarchist here. So I wanted to talk to you today about this guy, Erik Estavillo. He's in the news recently because he is suing Twitch for $25 million because apparently female streamers who are sexily, scantily clad are causing him to lose money. If you have never heard of Erik Estavillo before, he is an agoraphobe and a serial suer. He calls himself the pro plaintiff on many gaming handles. And you may remember him from about 11 years ago when he decided he was going to sue pretty much every gaming company. He started out between PlayStation Network, Xbox, and Nintendo because he sued Microsoft $75,000 because of the Red Ring of Death, which broke his Xbox 360. Noting that he is disabled, Estavillo explains that he cannot afford to purchase a new console, nor pay the well over $100 fee to fix his existing one. Microsoft should have to bear the burden, says the court document. Meanwhile, the case against Nintendo is one surrounding a Wii system update that disabled Estavillo's homebrew channel. Because the only way to unlock a particular character in Mario Kart Wii is to own Super Mario Galaxy, Estavillo has been using the homebrew channel to circumvent that requirement. Now that he can't achieve this character unlocking goal, the plaintiff is seeking $5,000 from the House of Mario for obstructing his pursuit of happiness. Estavillo is also asking for an injunction to prevent Nintendo from deleting, blocking, or prohibiting the homebrew channel and Ocarina applications. You've got to be kidding me. I mean, again, this was 11 years ago. So, get rid of that one. We'll go back to he subpoenaed Bill Gates in the Red Ring of Death lawsuit. He wanted to know how many Xboxes Microsoft has fixed in the past 3 years. Estavillo also requested the number of Xbox Live users who have been banned for piracy since November 2008. Apparently, that was a big thing back then. And then the PSN banning lawsuit was thrown out. In the Northern District of California, Judge Ronald M. White decided that Estavillo, despite claiming that the ban had emotionally crippled him, was not deserving of relief from Sony under the First Amendment. Estavillo was trying to get $55,000 in damages and also sought to get an injunction that would limit Sony's ability to ban players in the future. No. It is a private company. They have the ability to do that. Many people have been banned since then. Gamers sue Sony over First Amendment. It wasn't a First Amendment issue, obviously, because it is a private company on a private network. Remember this, people. Just because you have the right to say something doesn't mean you have the right to say something in a certain area, a certain platform, all that other fun stuff. And then he sued World of Warcraft over being hurtful. He said today, but that's not the end. He announced his final lawsuit filed against Activision Blizzard because the World of Warcraft isn't fun enough. I'm not having enough fun. I want the game fixed. Oh my god. He wants $1 million in punitive damages for creating a game which hurts gamers rather than being a bridge of entertainment for them to pursue happiness. Estavillo has subpoenaed both Martin Lee Gore of Depeche Mode, and actress Winona Ryder to testify. Gore will be a witness on alienation and the ties it has to World of Warcraft, since he himself has been known to be sad, lonely, and alienated, as can be seen in the songs he writes. Can be seen in the songs he writes. I suppose if you're looking at lyrics, you can see that, but otherwise, songs are a hearing thing. It's a mixed metaphor. Ryder and I share a common interest in the book Catcher in the Rye, which is all about alienation, he continued. She will be a witness that can explain the significance of alienation in Catcher in the Rye, since she bought one of the original printed copies at an auction, and will also testify to how alienation in the book can tie to alienation in real life and video games such as World of Warcraft. Thank God this is 11 years ago and not now, because I remember reading some of this then and just bashing my head against, I didn't actually bash my head against anything, but I wanted to bash my head against desks, walls, whatever. However, apparently, Estavillo, after the PlayStation Network one got thrown out, he dropped all the other lawsuits. He was done. Before that, he said he assured everybody he won't sue anyone else, giving half of his money to God. His whole thing was, aside from seeking money anywhere from as low as $180 to $1 million, depending on the case, we asked Estavillo what his intentions were behind launching the multiple lawsuits. What I wanted to do is exploit the weakness of each console and show that they're not impervious to flaws. Each console has a flaw and they should fix it. They knew. During the interview, as well as some of his court filings, Estavillo claimed to be suffering from a variety of psychological maladies and has repeatedly stated that he uses online gaming as his primary form of communication. I told this other interviewer, and it's true, I actually have no friends, because I sue them all. I rely on online gameplay for socialization. And doing so, I then call people shitty names and assholes and other things, and then they stop being friends with me for some reason. Though he is yet to win a case, his first, by default, could come as soon as December 3rd, at the end of Sony's 30 days to respond to a summons. If he does, that would mean $180,000 and a no contest ruling against Sony. I'm guessing this is how he's made his money over the years, is he just sues a bunch of these places. They claim no contest, say whatever, because of course I'm sure he puts in there that he has all of these psychological maladies. And they go, oh shit, well, we don't want to, we don't want to look bad in the press to not pay this guy. So we'll just say no contest, pay out like 10%. I'm guessing it's like 10% or something like that. I don't know what it ends up being. And of course it's California, so you pretty much have to pay if you're a company. And so he gets nailed on all this stuff. Half the money I get is going to go to God. I'm giving the other half of the money I get to CBN, Christian Broadcasting Network, local churches, charities, or poor people on the street. I'm going to guess none of that money went to any of those places. Update. Erik Estavillo emailed us this evening to say that Sony has responded to his summons, thus closing out the possibility of a default settlement. The first hearing will be in early 2010, and we already know what happened on that. On his lawsuits. I don't have any outside the game industry, just actually one lawsuit for each major console maker and one for the PC, so there's 4 total. I own all 3. My Xbox is out getting repaired. I thought he said he didn't have the money to pay for his Xbox. I'm playing Dragon Age right now and Mario Kart for the Wii, and I have a lot of Guitar Hero, Resistance 1 and 2, Killzone 2, and Warhawk, pretty much exclusives for the PlayStation. We already said that. Sony arriving in the price and pain and suffering punitive damages. I sued Sony because when they banned me, they banned my whole console. It's like a $500 waste there because I can't go online anymore, which was one of my ways of socializing. So when I sued for $55,000, that was something called punitive damages. Oh, thanks. Appreciate the expert fucking explanation there. When you're trying to penalize a company, and that was what I was trying to do, penalize them for banning someone. If I was cheating or somehow modified my system, then I could understand the ban. But you sued Nintendo, didn't ya? You cheated, and you sued Nintendo. But here, maybe this is why all the rest of them decided, hey, I contradicted myself in my lawsuits, and they can use a lawsuit. Once one lawsuit is concluded, they can then use the other lawsuits against me. So because you said if I was cheating or somehow modified my system, maybe that's why you decided to drop the Nintendo one. I actually have a 5 to 10 page pain and suffering document that I turn in as evidence, as my doctors can attest to. My doctors looked at the pain and suffering evidence and realized I was suffering and doubled my meds because of it. Maybe that's why he didn't sue anyone for 10 years. I'm doubting that.
I'm on disability, so I get SSI and SSA benefits for a total of $800 a month. I don't get a lot of money. It's only $800. So when I file my cases, I always ask for a fee waiver. You fill it out, and if they grant you the fee waiver, which I've been granted in all my cases because I can't afford to file since I'm on disability, since I'm not paying a lawyer, I represent myself in all my cases, so it costs a zip.
Joystick. To be clear, you're unemployed?
Correct, I'm on disability.
Fuck you. Wanted to, yep, we already saw that. And Winona Ryder because the Catcher in the Rye. So yeah, we're all good on this now. So 6 months after that, May 2010, after he said he was never going to sue anybody again, he writes, Mr. Bradley, Doug Bradley, who I'm not entirely sure, I'm guessing is up with New Line Cinema, or this is a legal thing. I don't know what this is. But anyway, he writes, Hi, Mr. Bradley, my name is Erik Estavillo, and I've gained a lot of fame and notoriety for my lawsuits. That's not fame, dick.
Just Google my name, Erik Estavillo, to verify it. I wrote a screenplay called A Nightmare in Hell, Krueger vs. Pinhead, and sent it to New Line Cinema.
Who didn't? During that time, when they kept talking about Freddy versus Jason, Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, Freddy versus Jason versus Pinhead, everybody was coming up with ideas on how to get multiple horror characters in the same thing.
The vice president wrote me back saying they weren't interested. However, I put the screenplay in the Writers Guild West Vault 2 years ago, so I have a valid copy of it. I plan on suing New Line Cinema on a number of accounts. One being that they used some of my ideas without my permission from my script. Secondly, I think Robert Englund was such a big part of the Freddy franchise that he himself owns some of the intellectual property that is known as Freddy Krueger, and that he should have had a say-so in future installments of the Freddy franchise, which includes the latest remake.
Who said he didn't?
The last and applicable count that involves you, Mr. Bradley, is that my screenplay involved both Freddy and Pinhead of the Hellraiser films, and that you and Robert should have been entitled to a farewell movie, such as the one I proposed where Freddy fights against another villain as he did Jason.
Okay, so this is Doug Bradley. Oh, of Hellraiser. If I just looked right at the top there, I would have seen that.
This time, it being you, Mr. Bradley, as Pinhead. I plan on filing this lawsuit with or without anyone's permission, but I was hoping that you would be an expert witness and hope to join forces with
me and Robert Englund, who I've already contacted. Yeah, you sent an email to him, but he hasn't sent one back, right? Fuck, 10 years ago. Jesus. Wow, why would he care? Why would Robert Englund care? He had a job. He got to make the movie. So again, that was 6 months after he said, I'm never suing anybody again. And he was already like, hey, I'm going to sue someone else. Why? Because that's how he makes his money. Last year, he sued Epic Games for Fortnite. Yeah, I don't know exactly what this means. This is like a literal, filing. This is all the filings on it. So, filing number 1 is he made the complaint and, motion to continue and all this other stuff. And I'm guessing it was thrown out. I have no idea. Either that or it really has just taken this long to get to. But anyway, so this is what this guy does. This is how he makes his money. This is how he lives. He's just one of these people who sues as serially because he can't leave his house. He doesn't take any personal responsibility. Everything is everybody else's fault. Nothing is his fault. Because he can't leave his house, he has to watch softcore porn on Twitch. As if there aren't 50 billion free sites out there that you can just watch whatever you want.
The plaintiff has been a Twitch Prime and Turbo subscriber for years now, whom also suffers from depression, OCD, panic disorder, agoraphobia, and Crohn's disease, and because of these maladies, he heavily relies on the internet for all his entertainment purposes, as many others do during this difficult time. And due to the COVID-19 pandemic, many people who have to stay at home for entertainment and are quarantining themselves, including the particularly vulnerable children. Okay, so this is to save the kids.
Think about the children. What about the children if nobody polices the children? That's what they have parents for. You know who also are staying home during this time? Parents.
As for the plaintiff, he only leaves his house for Inflectra infusions having to deal with his Crohn's disease. Otherwise, he's always on the computer constantly using and watching Twitch. Mr. Estavillo suffers from sex addiction due to his obsessive-compulsive disorder that makes him obsessed with sex and compulsions.
That's not how that works, but okay.
Twitch has extremely exacerbated his condition by displaying many sexually suggestive women streamers through Twitch's twisted programming and netcode, making it nearly impossible for the plaintiff to use Twitch without being exposed to such sexual suggestive content. There is no way for the plaintiff to filter streams he'd like to watch based on gender, male or female. Apparently he wants to watch sexy male people. So so maybe that's the whole problem here. It's not that he has a problem with the sexy female streamers. It's he has a problem with not being able to watch sexy male streamers. Therefore, the plaintiff has to choose a game and or category to watch with thumbnails showing these scantily clad women alongside men.
Wait, you don't... The problem is the women are alongside the men? What's going on here? What is the problem? I don't quite get the hypocrisy of the statement.
Of being the only streaming channels available to him. He cannot filter out the women on the site. No viewer can.
So he's sexist. Oh my God. He just wants...
Twitch doesn't have a gender filter or preference for a viewer to choose to only watch men or women.
I want to watch men. Oh my God.
However, as you can see from the screenshots below, Twitch did not permanently ban these violators of their own TOS.
Okay. So I will say that a lot of the female Twitch streamers who do this do violate several TOS, and Twitch is wrong on that one. But aside from that, Twitch makes a lot of money off of them, so of course Twitch doesn't care as long as they're not doing anything incredibly terrible. So, yeah, those are some of them.
Plaintiff respectfully prays for judgment against defendant for injunctive and immediate cancellation and permanent ban of the female streamers listed above, along with any other female or male streamers that violate Twitch's own TOS in a similar way. Also, for the permanent ban of any and all female or male streamers that have not yet been permanently banned for such sexually suggestive content as has been displayed in this lawsuit. $25 million in punitive damages to be split between the plaintiff and other Twitch Prime's Turbo subscribers, with any monies left over to be donated to both COVID-19 and Black Lives Matter charities and funds of the court's choosing.
Okay. How are there monies left over if you're suing for $25 million? Like, if you're wanting more money, then sue for more money. If you're wanting the money to go to charities, then have it go to charities. This is ridiculous. It's beyond ridiculous. There are lots of people that do this type of thing, and this guy has been doing it for at least 11 plus years. Yeah, apparently he doesn't like women, but he's sexually attracted to women because of his OCD. It's kind of a ranty thing. There is nothing really to this. This guy is just... He has literal mental issues. I almost want him to get some sort of settlement so that he then goes to therapy that he needs to get. I mean, there are now online therapies. You know, he should be being treated. You know, my favorite in this part is that Twitch uses this immediate gratification. Okay, the complaint goes on to accuse Twitch of taking advantage of viewers. Twitch also takes advantage of the plaintiff and many other sexually addicted viewers by allowing them to subscribe, donate, or pay bits to these women streamers, it states.
Twitch uses this immediate gratification reward system against their sexually addicted viewers no different than how a casino would.
So by allowing somebody to pay somebody else for entertainment, that is taking advantage of you. I don't understand that. I mean, no one's being forced to do anything. You are not being forced to turn on Twitch. You are not being forced to look at these women. You're not being forced to subscribe, to donate, to pay bits to them. No one's making you do anything. Allowing them, as in your previous lawsuits, that is the pursuit of happiness. If these women make you happy, which apparently they don't, apparently you're trying to go for the men, but you don't know how to go for the men, you know, you should be, you know, loving this. This should be the greatest thing ever because they are, you know, they're helping your pursuit of happiness. But as far as the, you know, uses this immediate gratification reward system like a casino would, there's a reason casinos are semi-legal, you know, with rules and whatever else. And this Twitch has rules in place that it is semi-legal as well as far as all this stuff goes. I believe you're supposed to be 18 with a credit card. But, you know, that's up to the parents. If the parents let their kids do it, that's their fault. This guy needs help. This guy needs a lot of help. And I hope he gets the help he needs. Anyways, as always, if you liked the video, please like, God, I'm just so thrown off by this guy. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment below if you've got anything, and I will talk to you later. Bye.